Hello, everybody, and welcome to the GamersGrove podcast, episode 10. Today is Sunday, April 15th, 2018. We are your hosts, Will, Austin, and Brady.
Hello.
For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, welcome. We are a video game news information type of podcast. We just talk about what's going down every week in the industry. We also just run through games that we've been playing. We try to market ourselves as more casual friendly, so we do our best to describe everything that we talk about as if we're explaining it to people who have never heard of this stuff before. This week we are going to be talking about SteamSpy and the fact that it is no longer operating, big PUBg updates, and much, much more. But before we get into any of that, we're going to be talking about games we played this week. I'm going to start this week since Brady usually always starts. So I have been playing a lot of RimWorld.
Sorry.
Ugh, Brady. I've been playing a lot of RimWorld. RimWorld is a top-down base building survival game that is has almost some roguelike elements to it. It is a very challenging game, to say the least. You start out with 3 people. They have different abilities and traits to them, and then they crash land on a planet, and you just gotta build yourself a home and do the best you can to survive. It's very cool. It goes very in depth. Characters are all very unique. They can go as far as they have asthma, or they.
Oh wow, that's really in depth.
Brady, yeah, it goes way in, and it makes for some really interesting dynamics, even in between the characters. Just the other day when I was playing it, I have a mod, so I make my own characters. So I was playing it with myself, Rebecca, and Brady as my 3 characters.
Oh. Wait, you can make your characters have their certain traits and stuff?
You can get a mod to do that, because
you could have an overweight asthmatic
yes,
character who can only eat plants.
You can make the worst characters ever. Yes.
It's completely
eating plants is bad.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But so I learned that apparently having Brady's character had the trait of being a hard worker. It just meant he just worked and really didn't do anything else. But later on, we recruited a character to our colony who had the lazy personality trait. Brady hated this person so much that he started fights with this person constantly. Anytime he saw them and they were working in the same area together, he would just start beating them up.
Yeah.
So
don't come around me.
Brady's so violent, man. Come on.
He's very aggressive. He's very passionate about his
work. Have a beer.
But the game brings off, just because it's so in depth, it leads to a lot of really unique stories. You guys in the Discord chat last couple days ago, I put a rant about how bandits kept raiding my colony, trying to kill my paralyzed chicken. So to get back at them, I harvested their kidneys and cut their legs off.
It's the only solution, really.
Yeah. I mean, how else are you gonna teach them? Don't touch my paralyzed chicken. But yeah, the game is very fun. It's a great way to just sink some hours in. It's definitely one of those just 5 more minutes, and then the next thing you know, it's the next day kind of games. It has a very big modding community, so there's tons and tons of ways you can expand upon the game. And the game, I think, actually pretty soon is finally going to come out of early access. They just announced that the next update is going to be their RimWorld 1.0
nice
version. So
it's always good to hear.
Yeah, I'm always happy to see successful early access game. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. So I bounced it over to one of you guys. What have you guys been playing?
Austin, I'll go last since I've been
first. Well, me and Brady have been playing on PUBg Mobile. Having fun on that, just completely destroying. Last game we played, I think we had 25 kills between the 2 of us, so we killed a quarter of the players just between us 2. But yeah, that's one of those fun games you can kind of just hop in whenever.
Is it still are vehicles super overpowered kind of a thing?
I mean, I've found that I get shot more often when I'm in vehicles than I used to. I think because as you raise in level, a lot of the bots go away. So I think it was mostly bots that I was running over. And also people kind of wising up and they're hiding behind trees or rocks when you're driving towards them. Instead of just standing there and looking like deers in the headlights. But yeah, I still think they're slightly overpowered, but not as bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And then on top of that, been playing some Battlefield and what else?
GTA.
Yeah, I've been playing some GTA 5. Doing some heists on that. Actually, we got through a heist.
Yeah.
The first heist, which is the prison breakout. I don't know if you're familiar with it, Will. But I was playing with Brady and Dylan and another guy, Matt, and we got through the whole thing, and then we failed.
Yeah, something
the mission due to a bug.
Yeah, like glitched out, and you like jump out of the airplane at the end, and then he like flies off, and like we jumped out, and we're like, woo, like we did it, and then it's like, and it's like, you know, like the ending thing, and it's like failed. You're like, what? Like what did you do? You not know how to fly the plane or something? Like, yeah. And so it kind of took. We're gonna do like the, you know, if you do them all in a row, you get like a big money boost. And we're gonna do that
without dying and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we lost motivation after we had to redo that heist again. So,
is that heist in particular like a more difficult one to do, or
no?
It just
was it just the fact that you did it all and then it bugged out?
Also, this was the heist that. It's the first heist, so we didn't get through it the last time we like tried to do the heist. And we lost motivation. So like we're like, "Phew, we're finally through it. Like we can actually do the other heist now." And no, we have to do it again. So demotivated again.
And our heist, it's 4 players, right? Is that the cap? Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm not super familiar, but I think it's 4.
The first one is 2. Or no, it's not really a heist. It's like a setup kind of thing. And then or I think it is a heist, but it's like a smaller one. And then I think it's 4 from then on. But there's some new ones out that I'm not quite sure about.
I had to get back into that as the heisting was always really fun.
They're still adding a lot of stuff to it, so I think it's worth hopping back into it. I'm gonna try and play it some more.
All right. Well,
that's it for me.
Brady, were you gonna add anything?
No, pretty much the same thing. Playing Battlefield, PUBG Mobile, PUBG, and GTA. Just I don't know. I come back to Battlefield like every week ever since I started playing it, and it's just such a good game. And it's funny seeing a lot of like the big YouTubers and stuff. They always go back to Battlefield to, you know, make some gameplay footage of it, and all of them, they always just say like how good of a game it is. Like it's
Battlefield 4 specifically.
Yeah, Battlefield 4, yeah. And not yet Battlefield 1. I mean, not saying it's a bad game, but represent. And yeah, they always they just say how good of a game it is, and the modern military shooter is just such a good genre specifically for FPSs, and hopefully Battlefield will bring it back one day. But yeah, Battlefield 4, such a great game.
All right. Good old Battlefield 4 has made it back 3 weeks in a row.
Hell yeah, man. And the 4th.
I meant to.
Yes.
Before we jump into the news, I want to say one more thing that I meant to say in the intro, but forgot because I'm a forgetful person. I just want to give a big shout out to you, Brady, for making our podcast episode 9.5.
Yeah, I'll give you a round of applause.
Thank
you very much for that. That was really cool. I actually like that, and we're gonna try and move forward with that as another type of thing we throw into production. But yeah, for those of you who aren't aware, we missed a week last week because I was in Florida and Austin's busy with school. But Brady took the initiative and made a cool 15-minute informative video about what's going down. So thanks for that. That was really cool.
Yep.
All right. So now with all that out of the way, we could jump into the news. The first thing being SteamSpy is no longer operating, I believe. So what happened was Steam had a new privacy policy update that makes it so all of users' data is by default private. Like it's not just public information like it used to be. And I think you can still set it to be public information, but I don't think anybody's really gonna go out of their way and set that option on. So
Yeah,
it kind of means that like SteamSpy is unable to do anything anymore, because unless they can convince every single Steam user to, hey, turn on your public or your information to public, then they're gonna have inaccurate information. So it doesn't matter how many people do it, because unless all of them do it, there's no point.
Accurate. Yeah.
Most people aren't gonna even realize it's changed.
Yeah,
or
this is
care
exactly.
to change it, because I've never used SteamSpy. I've been aware of it, but I've never really used it for anything. I think it's kind of useful, but more so to developers than the actual average person. So like you said, there's gonna be no reason to change that.
Yeah, it sucks because it is the kind of thing that your average user isn't really going to care or even know that this is happening. There's this, they don't use it, so it makes no difference in their life. But it does suck because now developers and people like us who want to know what's going on are not going to be able to anymore unless they make some sort of new way to have that information. Kind of screwed.
Yeah, I think it'll specifically hurt indie developers a lot because they don't have the resources to throw into like data analysis and stuff like big AAA game companies do. So they kind of go to this to get information on their game. I'm not sure how how much Steam actually provides, in terms of their like on Steam side, like the private part, not like public stuff, but there might be some. But yeah, I think the indie developers are going to take a big hit for this to see like how many people are playing in more detailed stats.
Yeah, it's a big hit to a lot of people, developer wise. It is a bummer. I'm curious to see what I don't know his name, to be honest, but the dude who runs SteamSpy, like where he's gonna go from here, because he's like a fairly notable figurehead. He had a talk at GDC. He does a lot of talks about all this stuff. Like data analysis is a big thing. And Valve just kind of killed it.
Yeah, he released an article recently. We'll have a link below, and it's about how he found like using data from the API, he got like really specific about like what games sold the most at what price, and he kind of found the sweet spot for game prices and some interesting stuff about that. And he releases like articles like that like every couple months or so, and they're always really interesting. And that stuff no more, and I don't know, he made a big impact on the community, and he's gone. I guess the website's gone, he's not gone, but
I'm sure he'll come out with something else.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, because he had a Patreon that was really like he had a lot of supporters on Patreon for the website. So we'll see.
It'll probably be all right then.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm interested to see where like all the money will go towards baby, now. Yeah. Yep.
It's kind of interesting to see how much of a hold Steam has on the game industry. Single-handedly, like how much influence they have. Just doing a thing like changing their privacy policy now affects a great deal of people.
Yep.
Yeah,
not really the consumers, but the people in the industry.
I wonder, has Valve said why they did this? Because it seems like it was a harmless thing. I don't care if people know what video games I'm playing and when.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder. Not to get too political, but I wonder, does it have to do with the whole Facebook scandal, like all that information? Do you think Valve got a little scared and was like, let's tighten our security a little bit? I mean, that seems dumb, but like I can't think of why.
That's a public thing that's being tracked, though. They're not making a profit off of selling it to SteamSpy.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just pulling off of public known data, so anyone can get that information.
Because they don't have like advertisers really or anything.
They don't need them.
Yeah, it could just be precautionary, like just in case, maybe. Like I guess it's all anonymous, but maybe they have something else that they track that's not more, it's not anonymous and it's more specific or something. I don't know. It's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But
they don't want to get zucked.
Yeah. I guess this is another, like many of the news things we cover. This is a thing that we just kind of have to wait and see how it plays out.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it'll be seeing what the SteamSpy's founder, what he does and what he says, to see like where we will go from here.
Yeah. Yeah,
but,
we'll keep you guys updated, and if news comes out by the next podcast,
we will update. Yes. All right. Well, I think that covers that. The next thing on our list, this new game called Dauntless has not come out, been announced, right? Yeah, has been announced. So Austin, you know more about this than any of us, so tell us a bit about it.
Right now it's in closed beta, so there's people playing it. You can find gameplay footage out there. It's being developed by Phoenix Labs, which is an indie company. They have a bunch of former BioWare and Capcom devs, as well as I think Riot Games.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's a free-to-play game. It's kind of like a monster hunting RPG game. It's been influenced, or it's got its influence from World of Warcraft and an old Capcom game, I think.
Monster Hunter?
Yeah, Monster Hunter.
It's new.
Obviously. But I think the idea of it is going to be kind of like they're going to expand upon the monster hunting. Right now, basically what you do is you go hunt for a monster, and they call them behemoths.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like one big behemoth that you search for. But I think the goal is to have a bunch of different monsters, like side stuff and like quests and all kinds of skill trees and stuff. So it's going to be more than just hunting that big monster, like a boss battle type of thing.
And it's multiplayer, so you could do
yes, and it's multiplayer. I don't think it's more than 4-player co-op. I could be wrong about that.
Fine.
But
so
yeah,
you mentioned it's kind of drawing some influence from World of Warcraft. Is it an MMO, like an open world type of thing? Like, are they going for that?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about, because right now I think it's only 4 players for a battle.
Right.
But I imagine maybe they'll open it up into more of an MMO setting, and like the monster battles would be kind of like raids. I'll have to look more into it. When the open beta comes out, I'll definitely be playing that. You guys, I'm sure, will too. And I'll have some more information on that. But it's kind of neat. The team has mentioned that the open beta doesn't mean the game's finished by any means. They're going to continuously update it and add content, which kind of makes it seem like an MMO to me, because MMOs are notorious for constantly updating and adding new content and expansion packs and stuff like that. Not just like a game that comes out and then you add DLC to it. So it seems kind of like they're going to go along that route. But yeah, keep an eye out for that open beta. It's coming out in May, I believe.
Cool.
Oh,
so we can get our hands on that and play it.
Yeah, it does. It looks very fun. I always loved the idea of Monster Hunter. I just had never played any of the actual Monster Hunter games because I didn't have any friends to play them with, and they were all.
Yeah, I don't think they're multiplayer.
No, they're multiplayer, but they were all like Nintendo, like Wii U and they were all Nintendo console exclusive. So like nobody had those. But the new Monster Hunter World, PC and PS4. But yeah, the idea of going out with some friends and hunting a big monster just always seemed like a lot of fun. So I'm excited to see how these guys take it.
Yeah, the first thing I kind of thought of was Evolve, and it's a little different because a player is playing the monster, but yeah, hopefully it sounds cool. It sounds a lot more interesting, and they're willing to put more support in it than Evolve, but
I was watching someone go into like start attacking the boss, and they were like running up to it, and it kind of gave me flashbacks of Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh yeah,
they're not quite as big as the monsters in Shadow of the Colossus, but like I don't know, just that like feeling you get when you run up and you're like, okay, how the heck am I gonna kill this thing?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. There is also, I hope that last thing I'll say, I promise. In Monster Hunter, they have for some reason, they're kind of notorious for making you feel really bad for hunting these monsters. Like most of the time, the fight is unprovoked. Like you're just running up and attacking it. And then like like later on as the fights go on, like the monster will be like crawling away, like just, obviously,
Oh, man.
and you're just like, kill it, stabbing it like, as it's like limping away. It's like, so it doesn't really make you feel good. So hopefully, like, even I guess even Shadow of the Colossus is like that too. What is it?
Yeah. You're supposed to feel really bad for killing those monsters.
Yeah.
Because they're like.
So I mean, like, if they made these behemoths like bad guys, I'd be okay with that, and I wouldn't have to feel so bad afterwards.
Yeah, maybe there's a story behind it or something.
Yeah, maybe.
That's another thing. The sound is really crazy. Like when you attack them, they're like have like really
like screeching,
intense sounds, and so you might actually feel bad.
Just
we'll
like
see.
that.
Yeah, just like,
hopefully not too bad. Yeah, just like that.
Oh, stop! You're hurting me.
One more thing I should mention, because I did mention that there is a closed beta right now, and people are playing. They're planning on wiping all the servers before the open beta rolls out. So like they're not gonna have a advantage, I guess. But they are planning on doing some kind of reward system for those people, like cosmetics or something.
It's usually how it goes. So then I'd imagine once open beta's done, they'll wipe it again for when the game releases.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, well that's cool. Well, yeah, we'll have more to talk about that like next month when we've hopefully all played it.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing on our news list is something that me and Brady in particular really wanted to mention. We won't dwell on it too long, but Billy Mitchell, the infamous Billy Mitchell of the documentary King of Kongs, has been stripped of his Donkey Kong championship. To give you some context, because that may make no sense to any of you guys. Billy Mitchell was this very eccentric guy who was the world's best Donkey Kong player for the old like arcade Donkey Kong game. There's a very good documentary about him, I guess. That's called King of Kongs. I highly recommend you all watch it. It is a great documentary. But to get to the actual news part of this, it was just found out apparently that he hadn't been playing the real version of the game. He was playing like through an emulator or something, I believe. And so that is against the rules, obviously. So that immediately disqualified him and stripped him of all his titles and championships. And now he just has his sauce empire to live for.
His sauce empire? What is this?
He also, to make things better, he also has a line of hot sauce, and he's very proud of it.
Oh, that's probably what I know him from. I was gonna say Billy Mitchell
might
sounds
actually
really
know him from that.
I do like my hot sauces.
Yeah.
It's
funny.
So
I mean, not funny that he lost it, but
no, it is funny. It is funny. Yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah, screw Billy Mitchell. Yeah, but yeah. So the first person now who technically like actually got the 1,000,000 points on Donkey Kong is Steve Weeb, and they were he was like in the documentary. In a way, he was actually the first one to get it. Then Billy Mitchell's like, whoa, like I've had the 1,000,000 point for this amount of time. Like here it is on VHS kind of thing. And
bust out the archives.
Yeah, and Steve was just kind of like, all right, like whatever, like just it's not like a serious thing. It's a he recognizes
it was just
that
a fun thing. For him.
Yeah, exactly. And then something else that is good to mention is that Twin Galaxies are the people that like keep record and like referee all this. So they're the one kind of investigating and the original people that stripped it, and then after that, like Guinness World Records stripped it, and he also got all of his other like world records or whatever stripped, because I think he's like one of the first people to get the Pac-Man perfect game and something else.
Yeah, he had quite a few records for old arcade games. It wasn't just Donkey Kong. It's just that's the one he was like for.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll put a picture on the YouTube version so like just the image of him is just ridiculous.
He's got some cool hair.
Yeah,
he's
like he's probably how old is he too?
He's got to be pretty old. That video he also released a statement. We'll put a link for that if you care. But he does look very old in this statement that we just watched.
He's 52 years old.
Damn, I hope he's not listening to this.
No, I hope he's listening to it.
You would. I mean, I would die of happiness if Billy Mitchell trash talked us.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. But okay, that's all. We had to mention it because me and Brady love that so much. But yeah, that's the thing that happened. Next up on the list is PUBg updates. PUBg has had some big updates in these this last week, I guess. The main one that caught my attention. We'll get through all of them, but this is the one I feel is most important to talk about. The circle, the barrier that is in the game that closes and, you know, forces the players kind of in towards each other is now going to close in faster, except for in the end game, right? Do I have that?
Yeah, the beginning it's faster and then slows down towards the end.
So essentially what that means is it's, you know, getting the players into a much more condensed area much faster. But also, it is now always going to be in the center area of the map, like the general center area, not like a specific. But I think, I honestly think that almost ruins the battleground feel, if you ask.
Because just the center, knowing where the circle's gonna be.
Yep.
No. All right. Well, okay.
I guess it depends on how.
I disagree,
but of the center. I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts, but like, so I guess it also depends, like, how much of the center do they consider the center? You know, like how much room do they have to work with, basically? Because just I don't know, like to think that like I could land like in the center area and just camp out there, like get some good stuff, and then basically just camp there and wait. Know that everybody's gonna have to kind of come towards where I am. I feel like that gives me a better advantage over like having to move around and constantly like you're never sure.
But everyone has that same advantage though.
Yeah,
I know,
because you know where it's going. Like you see where it's going. You can go there. And the thing is, like I've so many times I've dropped in a spot and I just end up in the center. Like I'm like, oh, okay, it's coming towards me. I can like loot around there and I come back and end up back where I launched or landed initially for the center. So I don't think it's too big of an issue. If it is like the exact same spot every time, then yeah, definitely, because you can be like, okay, I know that this point is the best. It's got the best viewpoints of all these other areas. You know, I got the upper hand in that situation, but I don't think it's going to be like the same spot every time.
Yeah, I don't think it will be either. And also, like, yeah, like you said, depending on how big they consider the center, but even if it's like just a big circle and then like anywhere within that circle, there's still a lot of places, because it's usually always ends like in a, like it's a decently small area, so you could kind of break that up into a bunch of, you know, that big circle into a lot of small areas to see, you know, where it could land or where it could be. So I think there'll be diversity in it still. But then looking at PUBg, like, because the esports side has kind of been rising recently, and a lot of professional players wanted that, and they people almost said it was like necessary to have that, so you could because it's like, if I guess it's just the RNG of it, but everyone kind of has an equal chance now to, you know, they're like, okay, it's gonna be somewhere here, so if I drop over here, you know I need to go over here. Whereas like someone could drop over here, but then they could just be on top of them. It's like, all right, well, that team has the advantage now that it's on top of them, and everyone has to come to them, kind of thing. I don't think they balanced it for that reason, but I just think it's something to consider.
It's a fair point,
because we brought it up before. You know, who to balance a game for, the, you know, casuals or the professional players.
Well, okay, after hearing your guys' points, you make me realize, one, I have no idea what I'm talking about, and I think that was actually the only thing I was going to say.
I mean, we'll see.
But yeah, that makes sense. What you're saying actually makes a lot of sense. Like, honestly, you kind of swayed my perspective on it, but I guess, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see really how it goes down. But there is more stuff we need to mention. They had a PUBg just had a deathmatch or team deathmatch mode that just ended today. What that was is essentially 3 teams of 10 all fought in a very, very, very small area. And it was just like, you know, like a classic deathmatch, you know, whoever got, you know, to this many points first wins.
It was a cluster of fucks.
Yes.
Is what we would say.
It was. It was very it's very like it's a very small area. It was very chaotic. There's a lot that needs to be changed if they want to move forward with it. Because they basically, the way they made it is they just made it like standard like PUBG stuff in team deathmatch mode without like taking all the things that you kind of need for team deathmatch.
Yeah.
To make it so.
I think
so.
Basically it's just like the small. I think it's the smallest circle that you can get.
Yeah.
In the battle royale mode, but you drop every 40 seconds after you die, and everyone spawns with gear, so it's just like constantly shooting. I think it was fun, but I think it definitely needs some work. I think, like you said, Brady, it was kind of just a proof of concept.
Yeah.
You mentioned that to me when we were playing, but I think it'll be fun. I hope they bring it back and tweak it a bit.
Yeah, I hope
that was you actually you saying that made me remember that was one of the biggest things I think they need to fix is and it's something you said when we were playing loadouts, having actual loadouts.
You should be able to choose that, because if I drop with a VSS or what is it, VSS, I think, that silence gun, and someone has like an M16, they're gonna win. Unless they get the drop on them, because I'm shooting 9mm and they're shooting 7.62. So.
I dropped like 5 times in a row with a VSS, and it's like, come on.
It's that randomization that doesn't. You can't have that in a team deathmatch type of format.
And
you need to give players more control.
If they like Will said, if they are going to add that in, they really need to do some balancing or something else, like, and especially the map areas. Like I played quite a few with some other friends, and we were getting these like ridiculous areas on the map. So the maps that you play on are just like circles of the existing map. And like we got one, I don't know the specific location, but there's like a power plant near it or something, and it was essentially like a couple buildings in the middle, then just like all fields around and like open fields, and you're just like sitting behind a tree, like you don't even know where you're being shot from. It's just super ridiculous.
Like King of the Hill almost. Whoever has the building wins.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it needs some work, and I hopefully they got a lot of information from this 72 hours that it was available that anyone could play, and they'll put some time into it to actually make it a game mode.
I would love to see different game modes, like a TDM one, maybe like a gun game or something would be cool.
Yeah, maybe some of the vehicles.
I don't know how difficult that would be to implement, but it'd be really cool to have more modes, because
definitely.
Then it's not just a battle royale game, and they're not just competing for the battle royale.
Exactly.
Seeing they also have some more.
I'm gonna take the opposite stance of you guys.
Okay.
And I think if anything, just to play devil's advocate here. But I think PlayerUnknown should just stick to a battle royale mode, just because think of it. PUBG's been in development for what, 2.5, 2 years, something like that.
Yeah.
About 2 years, let's say. Yeah. We'll play it safe. And the game is very clearly designed for a battle royale game. That's like what he's been making, what he's doing. So if anything, I'm just curious, why suddenly does he want to move away from that and add like a TDM mode, and who knows what else is going to come from this? But like we just said, there's a lot of like things that are missing there that you need, but he doesn't have because he's made a battle royale game.
Right.
So it's just like, I don't know. I like, if you want to design a whole different game mode like that, it's almost like you have to do it like from scratch. Like you can obviously keep the basic elements in there, but like if you want it to be like a good deathmatch mode, then you need to like actually put a lot of attention into it, not just slap the sticker on it and call it a day, like what he did with the test.
No, I agree.
Yeah, it's almost like a mod for a game, like
it's just like I wouldn't want like people play PUBG for PUBG for the battleground mode. If there's like, it's like, hey, there's also a total team deathmatch, and it's like, yeah, but it's not very good. So like I don't know. It's like, why? I'm just saying, why waste the time and energy when you've already put so much time and energy into your one game mode?
All right. Now, what about Fortnite then? They went like the opposite. They started out not for battle royale, then they went into battle royale.
Well, that's where the money was.
I mean,
So that
sure,
makes sense.
but
I
That is
think
true. That is
but then
just where the
why is
money was.
why is PlayerUnknown? You know, why are they going to
because
that?
Fortnite's killing them on
I
the
know, yeah, but
battle royales, and they got to change it up. That's what I'm saying. Add more game modes. I'll play PUBG over Fortnite for those game modes.
I mean, but it's not
I already
like
played over Fortnite, but still.
I know, but it's not like people go to like Fortnite to like play Save the World or whatever, or people, you know, from Save the World, or I guess they probably did go to the Battle Royale, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I
I
don't
do
know.
see what you're saying, but I still think it is different just
Mhm.
because
I mean,
like
it is
Save the
different.
World was still pretty early on in development
Mhm.
when they were like, hey, like this battle royale thing is kind of kicking off. Like
Yeah.
let's, we could do that. Whereas like again, PlayerUnknown's like 2 years, almost 2.5 deep into the genre that he basically created.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't create it, but
Oh,
he
I
made
mean,
it
yeah.
popular.
Mhm.
And then is like, let's mix it up. It's like I get it. I can see why you'd want to make the change, but I just don't know if like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think like doing it in PUBG is the right thing to do.
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying, and honestly, though, I wouldn't play that like game mode over like Dirty Bomb or Overwatch or any of the other like class-based
Exactly.
or arena shooters, whatever you want to call them. So, I mean, it's just kind of a almost like a warm up. Like, oh, I need a warm up. You know, let's play some
Yeah.
deathmatch mode.
Yeah, see, that's the way I'd look at it. I'd be like, okay, I have 20 minutes. I don't have an hour to play through a PUBG game or a half an hour. I just want to hop in and shoot some people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
another
Yeah,
option.
I'll give you that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
guess,
fair, I
yeah,
suppose.
looking at it like that.
But then like this also ties into the next piece of update news. But like if you want that, then just make a different type of battle royale mode, like this smaller 4x4 map.
Mhm.
Hey, I've only got 20 minutes to play a game. I'll play on this specific map, that lets me do that.
True.
Like branch out and expand within the thing you've created instead of like throwing all the stuff, throwing it all out the window and making a whole new game mode. Because like,
Mhm.
if anything, I'm just saying this because like PlayerUnknown's really good at what he does.
Yeah, true.
Like
Yeah.
he clearly made the battle royale mode very, very good, and he's capable of like making it unique with this new map mode and all this stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, who am I to like constrict people's creativity?
Yeah, we could go
Yeah,
back and
I was
forth
just
on
gonna
this
say.
all
I was
day,
just gonna
but-
say, yeah, like you could do, like, why just make a map? You could do other things with it. But yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I think that really does actually cover the last bit of update. The last thing was that they have that 4x4 map that is available on the test servers, and from what people are saying is it is super, super fast paced, people around every corner, that kind of stuff. Has the general consensus so far like been good overall for it though?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think people like it.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's more like you said, it's fast paced. You shoot a guy and then you turn around, oh, there's another guy there.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah.
That's about what I figured. All right. Well, that covers it for the PUBG stuff. The next thing on the list is there has been a, I guess, announcement or a leak of a new Bioshock game
A leak.
in development. A leak. Yeah, it is a leak. By 2K, right? Is that?
Yeah, someone working within the secret studio.
Secret.
Yeah.
Secret studio.
On the secret project.
Yeah.
In the secret location.
Well, Austin,
Probably.
you have probably the spiciest opinion on this, so I'll let you start this off. What do you think about?
I don't care about it. I don't want it. I love the Bioshock series. It's my favorite series, probably. Bioshock Infinite was my favorite game of all time. That game made me legitimately depressed after I finished it because of that story. It was like an emotional story. But I don't want another Bioshock game because it doesn't have Kevin Levine. Okay, like that guy was behind the Infinite. All of them, and like System Shock 2. He was the lead design on that, and that's another great game. But I don't know. We'll have to see who's on this new Bioshock project, but I just don't think it's going to be good. And I don't know how they could tie it into the Bioshock storyline. I think it would be like a Bioshock 2 scenario where you have a game that's in the Bioshock universe, but it doesn't really do anything for the story.
Like a
But
Fallout New Vegas.
I could be eating my words when it comes out if it's its real thing. So I don't know. I'm not excited for it, but
you do make an interesting point. It's a little off topic, but I do want to say it really fast. Kevin Levine, right? Is that his last name?
yes. Yes.
You mentioned Kevin Levine is not going to be the lead designer for this new Bioshock game, and that's a big deal. Like we could have the new Bioshock game could be nothing at all like the other games. And that's something people don't really think about with video games is, they see like, oh, this game's being developed by 2K or by Ubisoft, so they all kind of feel the same, which is true. Even like, they keep the same consistency, but having like your director gone and being replaced with somebody else can completely change how a game feels. And so like the 2K that made Infinite is not the same 2K that is making this new Bioshock game.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it says like the company is obviously still there, but all the people inside might be different. So you could have a completely different game.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting thing to think about with that.
We don't even know who's working on it though. So it could be a completely new team where no one has worked on a Bioshock game before. Because they said it's like 2K owns another studio called Hangar 13. It's actually really cool. Hangar 13s. They're in an old Air Force hangar on an old Air Force base. Yeah, it's actually really cool.
It's
super secret.
Yeah, but Hangar 13 made the Mafia games, which pretty good games, pretty successful, and it's like apparently they're like next door to the Hangar 13. They don't really, I don't know if that's like literally next door or if it's nearby, and they're being super secretive. Like I almost feel like Rockstar status of secretive. And someone like they wouldn't even tell their colleagues about it. And it said I'm referring to a PC Gamer article, but Jason Schreier actually mentioned in his article on Kotaku about Hangar 13 and Mafia 3. It was almost like a side story within the thing, and but they said it's super secretive. They wouldn't even tell their colleagues at Hangar 13 about it. They're and 2K has been like recruiting like game industry people from like across every platform and kind of just like trying to handpick the best people for the game, and they're going like an approach where they don't want to hire too many people and not have things for people to do, so they're kind of just have a small team right now and just everyone's working really hard towards what they're trying to make. So it's really broad right now. We don't know too much about it, and I think it's still the leak. This could be like a strategic leak or something, who knows? But I think it won't mean that much because we don't know anything besides that they're working. A secret 2K studio game is working. It's 2K Studios working on the game.
Bioshock Battle Royale.
Yes, that is what I want.
Yeah, no, I'm sure 2K is smarter than that.
Yeah.
I do wonder though, like you do have a good point, Austin, of like, what are they gonna do? Are we gonna go back to the Rapture again? They go to the other place, whose name I'm conveniently forgetting. But I don't know. Like, yeah, the story did kind of very, very neatly tie up. So there's not really much to work off of. I mean, you could say that like, oh, the Rapture is a big place. There's lots of other stories to tell, that kind of stuff. Like, there's always another story to tell. But again, like Austin's kind of a good example because he's like the diehard Bioshock fan, and it's like there's nothing more to say, and like even the fans are kind of like, well, what are you gonna do? We don't really want this. Like we're happy.
I don't speak for all fans, but I speak for myself, and I don't want it.
I bet you a lot of people feel the same way, honestly. But the game consumers are also dummies, so maybe they'll just be happy. Hot take. Maybe they'll just be happy to have a new Bioshock game. I don't know. I have no opinion on it. Like I think it'll be fine when they make it. I thought all the games are fine, but yeah, that's something that's happening. So I guess again, as always, time will tell.
Yeah.
Yep.
It could, that's a good point. It could, that Brady said, it could be a strategic league of like, they're throwing the idea out there to see what people think of that, and then if it like garners enough hype, or they
Yeah.
won't move forward with it. I don't know. That's a stretch, but like,
Yeah. Who knows?
could be. Yeah. Well,
Bioshock Battle Royale.
we'll leave it
Do
at
it.
that. They're making a Bioshock Battle Royale game.
Yeah.
Quote us on that.
You've heard it here.
I'll take my check, 2K.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So next up on the list, the game, I believe we mentioned it maybe 2 weeks ago, A Way Out, has now sold 1 million copies, which completely squashed my worries for the game. I figured it wouldn't sell enough because like one copy is worth 2 players, But
Such a warrior. It's gonna be all right.
I'm such a negative Nancy. I know. I worry about everything, but I'm happy to be wrong. It's selling great, and this guy, the developer Josef Fares, I believe I'm saying that right. He's now 2 for 2 with a good video games, so good for him.
And 0 for 1 with the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. He has made some movies, so he may have a like real vendetta against that. But
he has.
Yeah. He did movies for a long time, and then he went into video games with Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, and now A Way Out.
Okay, that makes sense why his story's so good.
Well, we're happy to have him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we are. I'm gonna add a link to that Oscar reference for those. But basically, for those of you who just don't want to click our links because you don't like us, he at the Games Awards, I believe, Games Awards of this last year, a very intoxicated Josef Fares took to the stage and screamed about how much he hated the Oscars. Don't know why. Don't really even know the context, like what. I don't even think he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Basically, it was all over the place. It was very funny, but it was a mess. Yeah. I think there's really nothing to discuss here with that. It says, good job, A Way Out.
Yeah, good on you.
I kind of want to buy the game, to be honest, because I want to. So
I'll play it with you. Buy it, and I don't have to.
One of us will buy it eventually.
Yeah,
we will play it. The next thing on our list is Jeff Kaplan talked about not necessarily talked about the possibility of this happening, but just talked about making an Overwatch campaign, because that is something a lot of people like want, because the Overwatch story is quite in depth. But he said it would be a whole, and basically to quote him, it'd be like making a new game. So he didn't necessarily say that's something they're going to do, but he's still like weighing and considering the possibilities of it, I believe.
Yeah. So like the reason it kind of gets brought up though is because like they, with the new, I guess it's not new, but with the current event, like the Retribution, I think it's called, they released something called the Overwatch Archives, which is essentially a PvE like playthrough that it's like you play through a little story and it's PvE, and it kind of just goes in depth of more things that about the characters and other things behind the Overwatch story and everything. And I think, and people, it's kind of like a tease of the campaign and what it could have been. And I think it was a Game Informer article. Wait, let me just double check. I don't want to get this wrong. Oh, Eurogamer article where Eurogamer talked to Jeff Kaplan and another developer, and Jeff Kaplan, like, he brought up the making of a new campaign, or not a new campaign, just one in general. And he said that it's like, it's something they've thought about and tease going forward with it, but it's so much work for them. It'd be like making a whole new game. But then they also said that they're still taking in feedback of whether they'd actually like ever want to do that or go down that route. So there might be something in the future. I wouldn't expect anything anytime soon, or anything at all. But just the tease that saying that, you know, they take the feedback and they're still considering if they'd ever make a campaign.
I feel like they eventually will.
Oh yeah.
You know, maybe way down the road, but like I think it is something that'll happen. It'll probably be like a full priced release game. Like
yeah,
as I said,
yep.
like making a whole new game. So like I wouldn't be surprised if they priced it $40
yeah,
for
like
a campaign.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
but I think people actually want.
Yeah. And all Blizzard games are so story like intensive, and I don't know.
It's a good fit.
Yeah, it is. And Overwatch still is. Like they do release a lot of, I don't know what the word is. I think, you know, like things alongside the game, like multimedia stuff along with it, like, you know, comics and short films.
I think you could say.
Yeah. So they still do a good job of feeding everyone's interest in the story, but just not as immersive as a video game.
I don't know. I wonder how it'd be as a campaign. Like,
yeah, no, I don't know either.
Because it'd be. I mean, Jeff Kaplan summed it up perfectly. It'd be like a totally different game.
Yeah.
Like, there's really not much else to say about it. The last thing that's it for our official news, but we still have a bit of time, so I'm going to mention a couple other things. The first being this other battle royale game that has come out into early access called Radical Heights. Brady mentioned this on the episode 9.5. These are the guys who made the Lawbreakers game, which was Lawbreakers was a Overwatch clone, more or less. That failed, obviously, because people were like, I could play Overwatch. So they decided that the next best move would be to make a battle royale clone.
Yeah.
Good job learning from your mistakes. The game is bad. Like it is
bad.
It's
really
very
bad.
early access.
Yes.
It's like
it doesn't run well. It's not fun. Nothing really works as it's supposed to. I mean, it's like they said, it's an early access game, and it is super early access.
Extreme early access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cue
But
80s
like,
music.
yeah, it's also I hate the theme of that game. It's like just cringy 80s, like not even the cool 80s, but just like bad, like, yeah, radical dude, like I don't know, dude. I can't handle that game. It's so bad. Although, of course, conveniently, if you want to buy a bunch of microtransactions in the game, that works perfectly.
Yes.
What I think is this seems like a very desperate cash grab, and I think it's going to bite them in the butt, because now everybody's first impressions are super sour.
Yep.
Like, there's a lot. They could have worked out a lot of this stuff internally for like releasing a early access version to the public, because most people don't like realize like every game starts out like this. Like Overwatch at some point was like a buggy piece of crap that was probably awful to play, but Blizzard did that all internally and then like released it later to be better. But yeah, so these guys didn't wait for that. They were probably desperate for money or something, and they've released it to the masses, and now everybody hates it. Nobody's gonna like it when it's good, you know, because everybody's memories are gonna be of this mess of a game that we have. So I don't know.
Is it free to play?
Yeah,
it is free to play. You could check it out.
Might be okay then.
That helps cushion the blow a bit, because it's free.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we talked about like we're still gonna give it a chance. Like it's really early access. I wasn't even like I was able to play, but I wasn't able to play. There's some bug where like everything's like green, and like literally my screen's like flashing like green. Like if you had like epilepsy or whatever hell it's called, you'd have a seizure. You'd have no doubt. So I tried. I was like, no, I can't do this. But like Will said, I think the studio is having some sort of identity crisis where they're definitely an indie studio, and they're not acting that way. They're trying to take on these huge projects and saturated markets when they just need to buckle down and, do something that they're passionate about, and get a game out that's actually good. Like Lawbreakers, some people liked it, but it was just in a saturated market. Not saying it was a bad game, but it failed like money wise. So I think they need to find something, and maybe they actually need to source money externally, like it's from some venture capitalists, or do big boy stuff, since they're trying to act like a big boy studio. So I don't know, but yeah, I think
I think you hit the nail on the head, Brady.
Welcome to the big boys.
The big boys, the big boy leagues. No, you hit it perfectly with they need to have some passion, because that's something I think you can notice right away is there's no passion behind this game. It's like they're making this because battle royales are big right now, and it's like guarantee money make. And you can tell, like, that's their only motive behind making this game. They're not making it because it's like a game that they think will be fun or cool, or like something they actually like. It's just like, hey, let's make some money. There's no passion in it, and that's why the charm of indie games is like people make these weird concepts of games that are like don't always hit off, but it doesn't matter because like the people had fun making it and put a lot of heart and soul into it, and these guys don't have that right now.
You don't need passion when you're radical.
I guess so.
I mean, we'll see.
Maybe. Yeah,
we will. We'll keep up with it, as whenever big updates check back in and see if it's worth mentioning again. So this is not the last you've heard of Radical Heights. Maybe unfortunately for us, we'll keep up with it and let you know how it goes. Well, I think that covers everything for today. For our closers, we have our on this day in gaming. And what that is, I guess, to give you context, is we search back into the depths of history and figure out what gaming related things happened on this day. So I'm going to start it off. On this day in gaming, April 15th, 2005, Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition came out.
Woo!
This game
dub.
It was this game was my Need for Speed. Like it was. I don't know what it was about the game, but like I can still to this day remember like running over to my friend's house after school and just like powering it on his Xbox and like playing it all day. Like it was super fun. I think it was like I'm pretty sure, I hope I'm thinking of the right Midnight Club game, but it was almost like an open world, like car racing game, like almost an RPG in a way.
But
like
you couldn't get out of the car though.
You couldn't get out of the car. But like you could customize your car and get new parts and do races and it was super cool, and maybe that's why I liked it. It was so much like an RPG. But that game was great, and it came out today. So
I just want
to touch a cool soundtrack.
It did.
Yeah.
Those racing games always had cool soundtracks.
I want to touch on though, because I play that game like religiously too, but I had it on my like OG PSP back in the day, and I was like I had probably the most hours in that game, like out of all my other games on my PSP. Like that game was sweet.
I wonder if it would hold up. Like if I were to go back and play it right now, would it
I think it would, maybe. I was on the opposite spectrum. I was the Need for Speed kid. That was my go-to. I did play Midnight Club, but it was mostly Need for Speed games. But it was the same thing, pretty much, more or less.
Racing.
Yeah.
Good time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what you guys got?
All right, I'll go.
Ahead,
all right, so on yesterday's day of gaming, I'm gonna go with April 14th in 2015. GTA 5 came out for the PC. I mean, it's GTA, so everyone knows about GTA. We talked about it in the beginning of the podcast too. But it was originally came out like I think 2013 on consoles. And it was delayed release for PC. I didn't like at that time I was full PC, so I didn't play it all on the consoles. So I had to wait, 2 years or whatever for it to come out.
Patiently waiting on the PC.
Exactly. And
so Rockstar.
It's GTA 5 is a great game. I think it was recently announced that it was like one of the most profitable games ever they just made so much money off of it.
Not even just games, like entertainment media in
Oh,
general.
really? Oh, yeah.
Yep, it
that's
is the
huge.
most profitable piece of entertainment ever.
Yeah,
Better than any movie, TV show, music.
Really?
Yes.
that's crazy.
Even more than like Star Wars?
Well, you have to think. Okay, we have to think of
okay,
the
as a
movie budgets.
not as a
are
franchise.
Okay,
I
I
think
thought you were
as
gonna
an
say it's a
individual
franchase.
piece.
huge.
Okay.
Yeah, it's obviously it hasn't made more money than the Star Wars franchise.
I was
It's
gonna say, I think it has.
Or
man.
like
hundreds of
Avengers or something.
billions of dollars.
Yeah.
But as a individual like piece of a thing, it is the most profitable to ever come out.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's pretty
great
pretty
game.
big deal. I think it made like I'm sure I have this wrong and I'll find the right thing I'm referencing and link it, but I think it made like 1 million or it sold 1 million copies in like first weekend of release.
Oh,
like
yeah.
over 1 million copies, something like that. Like it flew off the shelves literally.
Yeah, it's made.
It
Yeah, it
grew
sold over
wings.
3 million copies. This is
Yeah.
an article from 2014 though, so that's before he's even on PC.
Yeah, well, they re-released it 3 times or twice because
Yeah.
it came out on the PS3 and 360. Then they next year put it on the PS4 and Xbox One, and the year
Oh.
after that they did the PC.
Mm.
Oh,
So
here we
a
go.
lot of people probably bought it at least twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
So
I had it
stupid.
on the 360 and the PC.
Here it says.
I remember.
I did say earlier that I only played it on the PC. Actually, I did play on the Xbox for a bit. Now I'm remembering,
Okay.
but I didn't get through the main storyline or anything on the console.
It sold out of this is IGN on November 2017. It's said it sold 85 million copies.
Wow,
Wow,
So, yeah.
a
It's done good.
lot.
quite successful.
That's probably not including like the DLCs and microtransactions that people pay. So
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that's not money. Yeah, it's just copies. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
Well,
basically take 85
yeah.
million times that by $60 each, and you'll see how much money they've made in selling the game alone. It's a lot. All right.
well, on this day in gaming in 2008, another very successful franchise, Halo 3 Legendary Map Pack came out. Now this isn't the game; it's the map pack. But I remember, like you will, going home after school, going over to my buddy's house and playing Halo like all day. So
yep.
Yeah.
Kinda gotta-
Well, I mean, the map pack in particular, I feel holds some significance because Halo 3 multiplayer is so
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Good.
the
important.
that's the
to,
core of
like,
Halo. The
you know, yeah,
campaign's
it
cool,
is
but
so
it's all about
good.
that multiplayer.
Yep.
That I feel like, hey, honestly, I'll say that I think Halo and Halo 3 in particular, kind of started the like more mainstream esports.
Oh, actually, yeah.
Like that and Call of Duty are like what got like, oh, competitive video gaming is a thing.
Mhm.
MLG.
So,
Yeah, MLG.
yeah, MLG.
Which now it's all Overwatch stuff, but
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
got their start thanks to Halo.
yep. Yeah, I was the same way. I didn't own Halo 3, but my friend up the street owned it. And so after school
Yeah.
we'd always go up there. We played like every Halo campaign together, and we'd always play online together. Yeah, it's Halo 3 is so good. It'll come to the PC one day. Patience.
One day we've got Halo 1 and 2,
I
so
almost-
eventually we'll get there. I'm also gonna say, just to cover my tail, I know about Quake in the 90s.
Yeah, and I'll say
that's where real
like
competitive games
yeah,
started.
Counter-Strike, old Counter-Strike
Yeah,
too.
Counter-Strike and Quake.
Yeah.
Just saying, I know. I'm talking
The
mainstream.
Yeah, mainstream,
the
exactly.
mainstream.
Gotta-
For the
gotta save my
casuals.
skin.
Yeah.
The casuals playing. No, I'm just kidding. We won't go there.
But all right, I think that wraps everything up for today. Thank you guys all for tuning in. If you want to know where to keep up with us, you can check our website, gamersgrove.net. You can follow us on Twitter at GamersGrove or at GamersGroveWill or at Brady House Mafia,
Thank
Don't
you.
contact me.
or just find Austin and contact him. Text him. I'll put his phone number in the description.
It won't be the first time.
You can also find us on Discord, Steam, Facebook, lots of places. We'll have links for it all if you're interested. And yeah, we will see you guys next week.